Greg Zuerlein now. He'll handle the honors to get us started. And off we go from Soldier Field. And all in all, a pretty solid return. Nearly got it to the 35. They'll mark him down officially at the 34. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. They'll start this drive out on the ground to about the 35, 2nd down.
That was a pretty good job defensively to hold them to a 2-yard run, but I've got to think this offensive line, they're asking their quarterback for a different type of a run, one that they rely on, one they have confidence in, one they feel like they can block.
2nd down and 8. And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. And he'll get about 3 out of that up to the 39-yard line. Third play here, this opening drive as they're up against a 3rd and 5. From the gun, here's Williams. That's over the middle and caught by the rookie. And he will have the Bears' first down as he's able to get 8 yards there on 3rd and 5. So opening drive, 3rd down, they complete the slant to move the sticks.
And ordinarily, it's a high percentage pass when you throw it. And receivers like to run that route because it gets the ball in their hands pretty quickly. Just a couple of quick steps upfield, break towards the middle, and the ball should be there, and then they can do some work afterwards.
To throw, it's Williams. He's got a man. It's his tight end. That's complete. A Chicago first down there on a gain of 11.
Well, certainly as a fan, you get a little bit nervous when you see him make those kind of throws. But they work on that in practice more than we know. And most of them now know their limits and know what they can get away with. And there's a completion right there.
On first down, they'll go to the ground attack. Jamin Davis there to bring him down.
They've created a nice sustained drive off of plays like that. A nice strong run there that keeps them advancing the ball.
Here's a 2nd and 5. From the shotgun, a throw for Williams. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. That's good for a first down, his 2nd catch of the opening drive. We got to like what you're seeing from this offense here on the first drive. A nice sustained series to begin the game, and it will continue after picking up another first there.
Would you say the word methodical comes to mind? I love the execution. I love what they're doing on this drive. They're controlling the ball, controlling the game, controlling the clock.
And he edges forward, but only gets a pair of yards out of it. It's 2nd down. And hold on here, because on that last run, it looks like we have a player who was shaken up. So as the medical staff takes a look, we'll step aside. Ball on the 27. Here's a 2nd and 8. Looking to throw. Williams. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a first down.
I am willing to bet that he got a monster grin on his face when he saw what was happening. Mancombs were so committed to denying a big throw that it pulled attention away from him, and he had an easy lane to hit, and hit it he did.
A terrific opening drive has them knocking on the door. 1st and goal. They'll try to run this one in. Able to get a couple here, but won't get across the plane as they stop him right around the 1.
Here's where we need to see some tenacity from this defense, because they've been pushed right down the field on this opening drive. They've got to find some way to push back, and that's a good first step.
2nd and goal from the 1. They'll try again. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Bears. punching it in from a yard away. And the Bears will jump on top with the game's first score here this afternoon. Well, first quarter, maybe too early to talk about statement drives, Charles, but that sure seemed like a statement drive right there.
Well, if we're going to talk about statement drives, I think what they're saying is we're going to establish the run. They gave it to him early and often on this drive, and he wound up taking it into the end zone.
Cairo Santos on to try the extra point. And he's got it to make it 7-0 in favor of the Bears. A 10-play drive that time. And it ends with a 1-yard touchdown run. Now after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. So here come the Jets for their initial possession of the game. They'll be led out by a first-round pick back in 2021 from Ohio State. It's Justin Fields.
Every time he leads his team out, there's no questioning he's put the work in to earn his place in the NFL. There's no shortage of stories we've heard throughout his career about the effort he puts in to be in this spot. And that motivates everybody on his team.
We'll see what kind of mindset they have here offensively after giving up the touchdown on the opening drive.
And based on our time with them, prior to this game, I feel like they've got a good mindset going in. In fact, the discussion that we had with the coaching staff was, we may give up some points in this game, so our offense has to be ready each and every time to either equal or try and get us ahead and try and keep us ahead. This is their chance to respond to that first touchdown given up.
He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2. You don't see that a ton, do you? With a cornerback coming over to the middle of the field to make a run tackle.
That's someone with a ton of confidence to feel like nothing is pressuring him on his side of the field. Sees that the ball's moved to the middle and just sprints over there to help out. He ends up getting the tackle. Well played.
Oh, they would have gotten the conversion if he could hold on. Instead, the drop means it'll be 4th down. On 4th down, here's the veteran Thomas Morstead to punt for the Jets. That'll be a 41-yard punt, 4 yards there on the return. Chicago works their way back onto the field here for their second drive of the game. Well, just 2 series in here, Charles, but everything's gone to script so far. They got a touchdown on their first drive. Their defense holds, and now they've got a chance to take a 2-score lead.
And to co-sign with you, exactly the start they scripted up. And really, that kind of start, that can set the tone for the game for them.
Yeah, this will leave them a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down. From the 35, here's 2nd down and 1. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. 2 yards on the pickup, and that's all they needed to move the sticks.
2nd and 1, and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the 1st down.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. They'll go play action here with Williams. He's going to air one out. Touchdown! Rome Odunze, 63 yards. And the Bears lead this now 13-0 here in the opening quarter of the ball game. Boy, just zero hesitation from the rookie passer there, partner. He is coming out firing in this opening quarter.
And all the talk leading into this game was that pass rush talking about challenging this guy, getting into his grill, getting into his space. And how about him? Might be his first year in the NFL, but I don't see any fear in him at all. How about that big-time throw right out of the gate?
Santos now to add the PAT. And it's good, and they have jumped out here to a quick 14-0 first quarter lead. The drive there only spanning 3 plays. And the end result is a Bears touchdown. Now after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. And he'll be stopped up at the 25. Back onto the field come the New York Jets for their second drive. They find themselves in a good-sized hole here, and a good-sized hole early on in this game as they come up on first down. He completes that to Garrett Wilson. And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32. They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. Here's Fields. Throwing over, and it's Taylor on the out route that completes it. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. His first catch, good for 14 there and a first down.
You can almost hear the sigh of relief coming from their sideline and from their point on the field, because this has been a tough start for them thus far. A much-needed first down there. They needed something good to happen. Plays like that will continue to help them dig out of this hole.
Fields now to throw. Flushed out right. And they'll get this to the 30-yard line before crossing over out of bounds. So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. They'll run here with Hall. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. That's a gain of 11. Would have been a first down if not for that penalty moments ago. But you're down early. How do you get back in the game? Maybe establish the run. I think they're trying to do that.
Now I'm with you on that one. And what I like about the message is that there's no panic from the head coach. He's already told his offensive coordinator, let's run the football. Let's get things settled down a little bit and find our way back into this game.
And that false start penalty certainly not helping their cause here. 2nd down and long. Off play action. Fields. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Kevin Byard, the Middle Tennessee Blue Raider, gets the sack.
And this is what you've got to do against a quarterback like him. You've got to keep him in the pocket and not let him get to the perimeter, because once he gets outside, that's where he can really hurt you.
Here is 3rd and quite a ways. To throw is Fields. He's going to float this one deep right side. And this is dropped. Oh, my goodness. There was no one around him, but he took his eye off it, and it falls incomplete.
If I'm making excuses, and I am, sometimes the sun can be difficult on a ball like that. That looked like it was going to be right there, but it's in and out of his hands. And a potential big play goes by the wayside.
Here's Morstead now as he sends this one away. Call that 49 yards on the punt. They do get 7 back on the return. The Bears now ready to take over again. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
Jermaine Johnson in there to bury him for a loss of 11. That's a step in the right direction defensively here, because you're facing this sizable deficit. They're going to need more plays like that. A good sack, though. Good effort there.
And what you're hoping is, as you said, a step in the right direction. And that means it's something to build on. So you get the first one, and hopefully that can ignite them. And now they can make a few more plays and get back into this game.
Now they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. Throwing is Williams. eluding the pressure right. Good yardage there on the scramble, and all of a sudden they're left with a 3rd and 2, much more manageable. I thought they were going to sack him there like they did on first down. Great coverage, but he found a way to move with his legs.
Yeah, his ability to take off, not only did he get some yardage back, he got a little bit extra. Really helps him on 3rd down, makes it manageable now.
On 3rd down, they're going to run for it here. And he will be very close to a first down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means 4th down. Here comes the Bears punter now, as he'll come on to kick this one away. Fielded just inside the 20. That'll be a 49-yard punt, 6 yards there on the return. And the Jets will take over 1st and 10. And New York set to take the field. They've been outplayed early, no question, down 14-0 already as they come up 1st and 10. They'll start this drive out on the ground. Now he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on 1st down. But you often say that sort of opens the playbook now, 2nd and short. What do you think, early shot here?
I like where you're going. Obviously, we've been together for a while because you know me. I want to take that shot early and loosen things up.
Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34. Now Hall. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup, and that's all they needed to move the sticks.
I know what you're thinking out there. I know a lot of you are thinking, take a shot downfield. It's a great spot for it. I'd say maybe later in the game, definitely in the second half. But right now, I think they were just trying to get some momentum built. Get a first down, pick it up, and keep moving.
Now it's Fields. Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call. They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. Operating from the gun, Fields. Yeah, he'll find Hall. And he'll go out near midfield at the 49. Well, that one hurts. That wipes away what would have been a big play.
Well, you and I both know coaches aren't real big on silver linings, but at least that play call was a successful one. Now the focus offensively, that goes to overcoming the penalty and making all that yardage back again.
Kevin Byard up to make the tackle. Second and 7. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. And he completes it to Wilson. So just 3 yards on the completion there. And it's 3rd and 4 now. (14-0) the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. The Jets with the football here to start the second quarter, as they've got it with a 3rd down coming up. A shotgun snap. Fields. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he is going to have a Jets first down, and he was able to get it by plenty. A gain of 8 on 3rd and 3.
Down 2 scores already. I don't think these guys would be too enthralled with the notion of settling for 3 here. Very nice job of execution on 3rd down. Able to keep the drive moving.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. This is Hall. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a force of nature at the defensive tackle position. Yes, he's as big as they come, but still plenty agile. He's able to make a nice play there to swallow up the ball carrier.
This is 2nd and 8. From the gun, here's Fields. Reynolds with a catch out on the right side. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion, and now it's 3rd and 3. Back to throw, Fields. And he's in. Touchdown, Jets. Breece Hall, a 14-yard touchdown. And the Jets have cut it back within a score. Well, forget about the weapons out wide. He knows he's got another weapon in the backfield in the passing game, Charles, and he utilized him perfectly on that play.
And the offense coordinator showed me something on that play, Brandon, because so often during a game, our cameras find them looking down at their play sheets, and you wonder if they're absorbing anything. He had something specific in mind, and he went to it, and it worked well.
Now Greg Zuerlein on for the extra point. And that one makes it 14-7. So that drive takes him down the field in 8 plays. And it was capped off by a touchdown pass to Breece Hall. Now after the touchdown, it's Zuerlein. He'll kick it away. And he nearly broke that for more, but as it is, still a good return. They'll start the drive right around the 37. The Bears offense now heading back out onto the field. Obviously not the intended goal last drive. They had to punt the football, but still they've got the lead here, and now a chance to add on to that lead if they can get points on this drive. 1st and 10 upcoming. That play going for 16 yards to start the drive. 1st down. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And a 5-yard gain gets him to the 42. Now 2nd and 5. To the air, Williams. And he will find the open man. It's DJ Moore. And that's going to be another 1st down as the tackle made at the Jets' 29-yard line. Mark that down as a pickup of 13, and the Bears have the 1st. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is, because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
Oh, he was hit as he threw it there, and that one winds up incomplete.
It's always tough trying to keep your guy upright when he's trying to throw the football. And when you're dealing with those big, bad guys on the defensive front, it's even tougher. And this time, those guys on the opposite side won the battle, getting to the quarterback and knocking him into an incompletion.
Here's a handoff out of the gun. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4.
And once again, leverage wins. The offensive line, lower than the defensive front. They moved them and found some good space for the guy carrying the ball.
This now a 3rd and 4. Play action. Now Williams. And this incomplete. Oh, my. He might have been celebrating in the end zone if he'd held on. Nearly picked, but instead, it'll bring up 4th down.
Like what I see so far out of this defense, because they've been showing their best coverages on 3rd down. So far, only allowed 1 conversion on a handful of attempts. One area of their game plan that they've executed to perfection.
Santos' kick is up and through, and they will move up by 10 now, 17-7. So that one on target, and it adds to this first half lead.
And maybe we're too early to worry too much about one-score lead, two-score lead, etc. But this is where you kind of start banking those points that come in helpful later on.
After the made field goal, Santos back out there to kick it away. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. The Jets offense and Breece Hall headed out onto the field. And he has been a big component of the passing game so far. You see the numbers for this first half. This defense is going to need to find some way to key in on him because he is eating them up right now. They'll start on the ground here on first down. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. Second and right at a yard.
What a way to start a drive. An excellent run, a tone setter, and now if you want to take a shot on second down and go play action and make it look like the same exact play and throw it over the top, you can do so because you've established the run in a big way.
Here's Fields. That's into the hands of Reynolds. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
Here's Hall. And he'll get this up past the 45 to the 47. 42 yards rushing for him now to this point.
Well, I think after that run, the defense is getting back in the huddle and looking at each other and maybe starting to question their confidence a bit. They gave up a significant run, 6 yards, and now you're saying to yourself, how do we stop them, and do I have enough confidence to make a play?
Hall again on second down. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. Consecutive runs of 6 yards gives them a 1st and 10.
But, partner, if the defense isn't going to adjust and they keep giving them those 5, 6, 7-yard runs over and over, they're likely to run it the whole way to the end zone. They'll be more than happy to take the yardage available and save some of their other plays in the playbook for another time.
They'll run. It's Hall. And he'll get this down only to about the 46. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
A 1-yard gain could look like a disaster, but it all depends on how the game is going. Is it a series of 1-yard gains running the ball? If that's the case, you might have to start thinking about throwing it a little bit more. But if it's just the occasional 1-yard run, hey, congratulations to the defense. They won that one. Come back and get them the next time.
Hall again. Wiggles free. And he's able to get most of what he needed on the carry there. 7 yards on the gain, and it's 3rd and 2 now. Out of the gun, Fields. That is caught. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. They'll get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues.
That was simply snap, rock, and fire. I mean, they didn't take long at all. Slant route, and I loved where he put it. He put on the body of the receiver low so that only he can catch it.
Yeah, I don't think there was any magical formula there. Defensively, that's just tough to defend.
Very much so, and that way it allows the receiver to keep his body in front of the defender and not allow him to go through him to knock the ball away.
To the right side and intercepted. Picked off by Jaquan Brisker. And the Bears are going to get the football here at their own 40-yard line. Before we came up to the booth, last thing he said as we were walking off the field, want to play mistake-free football. Well, that just went out the window there with a pick.
And do you remember what you said to me when we were walking up to the booth after he said that? You're like, oh, fatal last words. Every time we hear that, things tend to fall apart a little bit, and that's what we saw there. Didn't get enough on that throw, and it turned into an interception.
And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. They'll start at the 40, so great starting field position following the interception. To throw, Williams. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Great coverage there all around. Really didn't have many options to throw the football.
Very little chance that that one was going to be completed. Every receiver was locked up.
Here's 2nd and 10. Working out of the gun, Williams. And that's going to be incomplete.
Tough series for the passing game. Things just aren't clicking. Hopefully they can come through on this play and get this series back on track with a completion for enough yardage for a first down.
And this offense on 3rd down today, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. Here's Williams. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he will have the Bears first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Well, things are definitely going right for them here in the first half. Pick a down, any down, even 3rd down, no problem. They get a connection there and pick up a fresh set of downs, continuing to move the ball.
From their own 40 to the other 40, the gain of 20 leads to 1st and 10. First carry for DeAndre Swift. And give him 6 yards here as he stopped near the 35 at the 34. All right, so they got that one, Charles, against the center.
And let's remember how difficult it is for the center, because remember, he's got to snap the ball to put the play in motion, and sometimes you got that big guy on your nose. You got sometimes where he's coming at you at an angle. It's a difficult job for him to snap the ball and then execute his block. As a defensive back, you have some weapons at your disposal that we don't often talk about, and you can read the receiver's eyes, you can read his hands, and you know that the arrival of the ball is imminent, and that allows you to make a play on it and oftentimes knock it away.
So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down. And they'll run on the inside handoff. Only 2 yards on the carry. That's going to set up a 3rd and long, 3rd and 15 to be exact. Tall task ahead of him here, needing a full 15 yards to move the chains. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. Boy, a nice play there as they wind up converting on 3rd and 15.
Let's make this one simple. What a catch, especially the finishing part of getting his feet in bounds, toe tapping, and of course, foot dragging.
Little tapestry, if you will.
Oh, I like it.
To the 27-yard line. Here's a 2nd and 8. To throw, it's Williams. Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid gain.
So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20. Looking to throw is Williams. And he's got his man in stride, complete. And the Bears are going to have a 1st and goal as he'll be taken down at the 7-yard line.
He's certainly done a nice job spreading the field on this drive, and here he finds his big tight end for good yardage. And that's what you have to do. Keep defenses guessing about where you're going to go with the football.
Coming up to the line, and they will need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. They'll get this halfway home from the 8 to the 4 on a gain of 4. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. 2 of their 3 red zone trips so far, they've come up empty on. They'll look to reverse that trend on 2nd and goal. That's to Moore, and he's got it. Touchdown, Bears. 4 yards on the touchdown grab, and the Bears are able to widen their advantage. That's why you've got your star out there. Throw the ball to him. They did.
That's simply saying we don't care what coverage you put out there. He's so good, we're going there with the football anyway, and there's not a thing you can do about it.
Inside the red zone, they go to him. He gets it done. Now the point after try for Santos. And that'll make this a 3-score game as the lead moves to 17. A pretty long drive that time. 11 plays all told. And it concludes with a touchdown reception by DJ Moore. Now after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. The Jets taking over again. Breece Hall making his way out with the offense. And the ground game's been good, but they're losing here in the second quarter. Can they use that ground game maybe to work the air attack a little bit more?
I think so, because now you can throw play action off of being able to run the ball effectively. And oftentimes you might want to just swing your back out of the backfield, get the ball in his hands in open space, and just don't get totally away from running it, because some of these runs now, they may pop bigger as the game goes along.
Yeah, they've been good with a run so far. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Now Fields. That's complete to Tyler Johnson. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1. Here's Fields. He's going to float this one deep right side. And it's knocked away and incomplete. Well, Tyreek Stevenson, great coverage there to break it up.
They geared up and took the deep shot downfield, but it turned out it wasn't one-on-one coverage. Extra defenders in the area, and that one winds up incomplete.
Here's Thomas Morstead on now to punt it away on 4th down. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. This is taken at the 15. It'll be a 47-yard punt with a net of 40 following a 7-yard return. And the Bears take over. Another drive coming up for this Chicago offense. And still plenty of time remaining here in the half, more than a minute. And we'll see if they just want to protect that lead or try to add on to it.
Well, with as much time as is left on the clock, I would imagine it would be the latter. I think they're going to try and add on to it. So what they're going to tell the team is very simply, if you can get out of bounds after making a play downfield, terrific. If you can't, everyone hustle to the line of scrimmage, either run another play or clock it and start over again.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. From the gun, here's Williams. That's going to be complete on the sideline, but, you know, that throw left him no room to run, and the good footwork nearly all for naught. Call it a gain of 3 on the play, and that's going to bring up 2nd down. Operating from the gun, Williams. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. 7 yards there and a 1st down.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, Definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a first down.
Now they go screen. It's complete. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. Now the Bears going to use the second of their timeouts as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in the first half of play. Second down and a little more than a yard here. Williams going to look to throw again. He's got the connection to Moore. Now the Bears will use their third and final timeout. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. And they just keep marching right along. First down on a pickup of 8 there. Throwing is Williams. Forced out to his left. And he's left with no option here but to throw it away.
Well, here's a classic second guess. I thought he had a better chance of a positive play if he just ran it himself. The coverage downfield was really good. That one falls incomplete.
So line of scrimmage still the 39 on 2nd and 10. To throw once more, here's Williams. That pass complete to Moore. And he gets it down a yard or two shy of the 30 before he's out of bounds. That'll leave him with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there.
Well, that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
Now throw right side here, going to be incomplete.
Tight defense there on 3rd down, but what a product of good coaching and even better execution, because he realized he's in field goal range. No sense forcing anything, and he made sure he didn't.
On is Santos for the Bears field goal. He hit his first. Now this one from 48 yards away. Santos' kick is up and through, and that will extend their lead even further. So this lead, Charles, just continuing to swell here in the first half.
Well, it's interesting. When we talked to them prior to the game, they told us that their game plan was take no prisoners, and they've lived up to it so far because everything has worked. No guarantee that'll continue, but all in all, this coaching staff's got to be very pleased by what they've seen.
And no chance to see a return on the dynamic kickoff. They'll move this out to the 30-yard line. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to... And that's caught inside the 30. And he's in for the touchdown on the final play of the first half. The prayer is answered.
How did they get that done?
And here on the road, that could be a huge score for their morale in the second half.
Every team has confidence going into the start of games, but sometimes you get it rocked a little bit, and they certainly applies here for them. But guess what? Just what you said, this touchdown can give them their belief back that they can win in the second half.
Now Zerline on to add the extra point. He's got it, and the score's now 27-14. So we've reached the intermission in what right now is a 13-point game as we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach.
In the first half, it was the man from USC, Caleb Williams, who put on a solid performance. He fired his guys into the lead with 2 first-half touchdown passes, as they were looking like a well-oiled machine in the first half of play.
Okay, Coach, thanks as always to you and the gang in Orlando as we welcome everyone back in for quarter number 3. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. Here's the Jets offense now getting set to start off this third quarter. And Charles, some things to like about that first half. Ultimately trailing here, but certainly this deficit is manageable. So curious to see what adjustments they may have made at intermission.
As am I, because I think things bode well for a possible comeback, because I thought a lot of their best reps in the first half came through the passing game. They were hitting the open receivers, taking whatever the coverage gave them and making it work well for themselves. Now, they just want to pick up the pace of scoring a little bit. So I expect them to come out and continue to throw the ball effectively.
Ball again on second down. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Call it no gain that time, as it's going to leave him with a third and about 3 to go. Defense able to get there, swarm to the football. Zilch, zero nada there for the offense, Charles.
Yeah, it really was an example of good team defense, wasn't it? Everyone handled their responsibilities, and they held them to no gain.
They'll run with Hall. And he will have a first down here at about the 40. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive.
A dependable running back is a coordinator's best friend, someone you can trust in those situations to push forward and get the yardage you need, however possible.
Fields now to throw. Over the middle, that's caught by Taylor. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. Two yards to go, second down. Out of the gun, they run it with Hall. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down.
Look, I realize on any play call, when it's properly executed, it can go for a touchdown. But the runs that really make it work are the ones where you just get what you need, right? And he barely got the first down, but he got it.
On first down, right back to Hall. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Now, that's a mountain of a man that just made that stop, isn't it? But he's more than that. This guy's nimble and quick. More than a space eater, he just made a great play there.
Ball on the 47-yard line. Here's 2nd down and 8. To throw is Fields. Oh, he rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off by Jalen Johnson. Past the 20. And they will score a pick 6 for a Bears touchdown. Well, if there was any thought that this thing might turn around for this offense in the second half, I think those thoughts pretty well dashed after that interception return there.
It just has not been a good outing for this unit whatsoever. There's no other way to say it. They've been overmatched, haven't performed to the level that they've needed, and that throw there's just going to contribute to this game getting out of hand.
The defense more than did its job. Now the offense is summoned onto the field as they'll go for 2. They're going to try and run. And he will get into the end zone to extend the lead by 2 more. And they turned the pick 6 into a pick 8 with that 2-point conversion.
I love how you upsell. That is outstanding right there. What a big-time play. Big switch in how this game was going, and then they capitalized with a little bit on top.
So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30. The Jets offense and quarterback Justin Fields heading back out there. And we'll take you through some of the highlights here. You'll notice he had a hand in a lot of them so far. He's got this offense rolling right now. The New York offense taking over for their next possession. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, It has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
Ball on the 30 now. Here's a 2nd and 7. Now it's Fields. That's taken in, complete to Reynolds. They'll wind up getting 7 on the play, and 3rd and 1 now. Fields. He's got his target. That's complete. And he is going to have a Jets first down by a couple of yards as they're able to convert there on 3rd and 1.
Well, part of their struggles in the first half was their inability to convert consistently on 3rd down. But how about this well-designed play? Gave himself plenty of options and able to get the hook up and keep the drive going.
Back to throw. Fields. And Lazard's got it again. So the completion good for just 3. And it'll be 2nd down. From the gun, here's Fields. Caught by Wilson. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. That's good for a Jet first down, a gain of 13. On 1st and 10, it's Hall. And boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain.
All runners count on their eyes to find the gaps and creases, to find open space. There was absolutely none on that one. Totally swallowed up on that play.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Here's Fields. He finds Wilson. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop him. Good yardage after the catch. Is that play good for 30 and a first?
We have seen big plays from both quarterbacks throughout this game, and there's another one right there. Going back and forth, almost like 2 excellent guitar soloists trying to top each other with each additional play.
Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Back to throw. Fields. Throw taken in by Taylor, left side. And he is out of bounds, getting it down to the 10. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play. And that will bring up 2nd down. Back to the ground with Hall. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. Give him 4 on the carry, and it'll make this a 3rd and about 2. A shotgun snap. Fields throwing quickly there, but it's incomplete. Brings up 4th down. Solid coverage by the Bears D.
I think he's a little trigger happy right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. I guess they figure they got to start taking some chances. Here's a big one in this 3rd quarter as they'll go for it on 4th down. They'll go for it. It's Hall. And he won't have the touchdown, but he will have the first down as he's tackled at the 2. Didn't get the touchdown, but a big first down, and now they're 6 feet away from the end zone.
And a little bit of momentum as well. To get down to the 2-yard line, 1st and goal, Playbook's open now, right? What do you want to call? You want to call power? You want to call quarterback run game? Do you want to throw the ball? The entire playbook is available for the play caller.
And he is in. Touchdown, New York. Breece Hall with his second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Jets get a bit closer. So, partner, it was a passing game that drove them down the field, but when they get close, they trust that man in the backfield, and he took them home.
And they trust their offensive line as well, because so many of these units, they specialize in either pass protection or run blocking. This group shows its versatility and gets both done on this drive.
Zerline good with a PAT, and the lead will be cut down to 14. That one in the books as a 12-play drive. And it was capped off by a Breece Hall touchdown run. Now after the touchdown, it's Zerline. He'll kick it away. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. The Bears offense ready to get going again. And as we look back at how we got here, you'll notice a common theme in these highlights. A lot of yardage through the air. The passing game has been sharp right from the outset. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. Their lead down to 2 scores after the touchdown a moment ago as they start with a 1st and 10. He'll fire deep, looking for more. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
One thing that offensive guys stress when they throw the deep ball, you're just counting on your receiver to find it, adjust before the defensive back can get his head around. In this case, though, the DB matched it move for move and knocked it away.
To the air, Williams. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he's brought down at the 34. Call it a gain of 4. The Jets will bring in a nickel set here as they try to stop this 3rd down. To throw, Williams. That is caught. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 14 yards and a Chicago 1st down.
To win any route, you've got to break down the defender, and that's exactly what happened here on this really nicely executed curl route.
Inside 4 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. On 1st down, they'll go to the ground attack. And a good physical run that time. He's going to wind up gaining 5 on that one.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
From the 48-yard line, here's 2nd down and 5. Here's Williams. And he's got the hook up to Moore. It'll be a gain of 5, and they'll be faced with a 3rd and inches. They'll try and run here with Swift. Oh, that one well designed as he'll take this down to the 30-yard line. Mark that down as a pickup of 13, and the Bears have the 1st.
That's quite a spot there for his first carry of the game, but obviously they had plenty of faith in him, didn't they?
No question about it. And here, why not go with the fresh legs? Able to push forward, pick up that 1st. On play action, here's Williams. And that's going to be incomplete. Not his best throw there, but where we sit right now in the 3rd quarter, he's had a pretty good game throwing the football.
He certainly has, and it's not exactly the point where we're doing 4-minute offense yet, but they've got to think about, I'm not going to say milking the clock, but understanding clock management here on out.
Glad you're with us from Soldier Field in Chicago. Third quarter here, 2nd and 10. From the gun, he'll hand this off. About 3 yards there to the 27.
They're in a pretty good spot right now with a convincing lead. I think this is where they put on the boxing gloves, start to try and pound them into submission.
And the offensive line, they've controlled this game. I don't see why that trend would change now. An 8-play drive to this point. So here's play number 9 on 3rd and 7. Looking to throw is Williams. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And just 3 yards on the catch there. He couldn't get away. And it'll be 4th down.
And let's face it, you can put any Halloween costume on him. You're not going to be able to disguise him because for a tight end of his size, difficult to sneak him anywhere, but that's what they tried to do. Lined up on his right, tried to work his way back to his left, but just a minimal gain as the defense was able to react quickly.
Santos' kick is up and through, and that will extend their lead even further. So that's 3 field goals for him now, but heck, he's not even halfway to his career best of 7.
Seems like the 7 field goal games are the kind of games I always get assigned to in my other job. Let's hope for this offense's sake they can start cashing in on a few of these drives.
And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. The visitors' offense and their quarterback headed out for this next possession. And it's been a struggle for him all afternoon. This defense has really done a nice job of making him earn everything he gets, and it's prevented him from getting into any kind of rhythm here today. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. Right now, Charles, it just feels like they're trying to keep pace. They did score the touchdown last time out, but they still trail by double digits here. We'll see if this offense is once again up to the task.
Yeah, and I think that after the last drive, they've got to be pretty revved up, don't you think? Everything they were doing was working pretty well. They go back out there with the same mindset, play at the same tempo and the same pace. Still a lot of time left to make something happen in this one.
Now Fields. Over the middle, complete. It's Reynolds. And he'll be brought down on what's going to turn out to be the final play of this third quarter. 3 quarters have come and gone. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now at Soldier Field. It's Jet football, but they trail here as we start the fourth quarter. Out of the gun, Fields. He'll get 5 out of the scramble. It's 2nd down.
Well, it certainly appears to me that the defensive guys are starting to look a little bit tired while he still has some fresh legs. Not the biggest gain we've seen on a scramble, but still some positive yardage on a play that initially looked like a sure win for the defense.
2nd and 5. Here's Fields. Finds Lazard quickly on the slant. 5th catch of the afternoon, and that gives him a first down. Looking to throw. Fields. That's complete to Lazard. So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch, and it'll be 2nd down. Back to throw. Fields. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
My first thought is surprise because that's one of the better tight ends around, and I've seen him pull in balls like this before. But how about a little credit to the defense forcing that incompletion?
Play number 7 now coming up on the drive. 3rd and 5. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And check down complete to Hall. And I don't think he got there, no. He's short by maybe a foot, maybe. Call it 4th and inches.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that and keeping him from a first down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on fourth. Felt compelled to go for it there on fourth down, trailing in the fourth quarter. They got it done.
And there's always a lot of pressure on a fourth down call. Doesn't matter the distance. You still have to get it done, as you noted, and they did.
Targets and finds Reynolds once more. So the completion good for 6 yards, and it'll be second down. Straight ahead is Hall. And a good-looking run there as he'll take this inside the 20 and down to the 18-yard line. 96 yards rushing now as he's done it on 22 carries.
Some big plays in the passing game on this drive, and here's one out of the running game. So the passing game loosening things up. Now there's room to roam.
Fields now to throw. And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's second down.
One thing you hope to see out of a rookie tight end is a real concentration when the ball's in the air, and I'm not sure that he didn't, but he has to be prepared for people making a play on it when that ball's up for grabs.
Now a 2nd and 10. A give running right is Hall. And they'll lose yardage here. Knocked back to the 19-yard line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
The short field shrinks even more with the type of bodies they brought in on that play. Those extra tight ends, they weren't able to secure their blocks, and that one ended up going backwards.
This offense so far on 3rd down, they've hit on half of them, 5 for 10. This is 3rd and 11. Here's Hall again. And he'll only get this to the 17, well shy of what he needed. Give him a couple on the run as it brings up a 4th down. So here's Greg Zuerlein now as he'll try for the field goal. From the right hash, just a 34-yard attempt. Zuerlein's kick is up and through, and that will close the gap down to 14. Well, with that field goal, you can argue they needed to get back within 2 scores, and they did indeed do that, but still a pretty uphill battle.
Still going to take 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns to get back into it. And as you and I know, that's a tall order against any NFL defense. They're going to need their own defense to make some plays as well to give them an opportunity.
After the made field goal, Zuerlein back out there now to send this one away. And all in all, a pretty solid return. Nearly got it to the 35. They'll mark him down officially at the 34. The Bears offense and their quarterback set to take the field once more. And he has been masterful so far in leading this offense. He's kept the mistakes to a minimum. He's been on point with his passes. And he's generally been one step ahead of this defense all game long. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down.
Well, they held him to a short gain on that one, and it almost felt like on that first run, they were trying to just throw the jab at him. So how do you stop a jab? Get closer and smother it, just as they did on that last play.
So from the 37, here's a 2nd and 8. From the shotgun, a throw for Williams. He'll be taken down. The Jets get in there for the sack. Jermaine Johnson able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon. And on that one, the protection just broke down.
You've got to have that leverage, don't you? We always talk about low man wins in the running game for an offensive lineman versus a defensive lineman. It's essentially the same thing in pass protection. Get lower than that defensive lineman so that you can keep your balance and keep him away from your guy trying to throw the football.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Pass taken in by his big tight end. Big strides, look at him go. Touchdown, Chicago. great play there. 70 yards. And the Bears have pretty well put it away here in the fourth quarter. Yet another touchdown in what has just been a high-scoring affair, a fun one to watch. And it's the rookie quarterback, Charles, coming through with yet another touchdown pass to pad the lead.
Did we come into this game where defense was optional? Because it certainly feels that way, right? But when you look at the scoreboard, this rookie, he has his team moving at a little bit quicker pace than his opponents. The entire offense is going to get plenty of praise, but I think these coaches have to be especially happy with what their quarterback has done.
Santos able to tack on the extra point, and the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21. Now after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. The visitors' offense and their running back getting ready to go back to work. And he has put in a full game's work and then some. Just an incredible performance on the ground to this point in the fourth quarter. They'll start on the ground. Hall. And boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain. Delayed give there out of the gun. Defense was ready.
And I'm not a big fan of a draw play out of the shotgun formation because the quarterback's not having much action where he's getting away from the line of scrimmage. He's catching the football, making a little head fake, and then handing it off. You should be able to read it as they did there.
Now it's Fields. And this is incomplete. The intended receiver, Josh Reynolds. And it'll bring up third down. Fields. He's got his target. That's complete. And he is going to have a Jets first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
Time running short here in the fourth quarter. You're down 3 scores. And I think you've got a defense here saying we just need to prevent the home run. So good, smart offensive coordinator can use that as an advantage. And that's a nice throw there to pick up the first down.
Back to throw. Fields. Going right back to Wilson. Now this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down. Just need a yard here. 2nd and 1. Again, Fields. And he drops it incomplete. And their struggles continue here.
It's another zone defense. It looks like it's open for possibilities, but they did a nice job patrolling the middle of the field and forcing an incompletion.
They tried to throw on 2nd down, unsuccessful. Now it's 3rd and 1. To throw is Fields. Open man is Taylor. He's got it. And he is going to have a Jets first down by a couple of yards as they're able to convert there on 3rd and 1.
Oftentimes we think of those tough yards as grinding yards that a running back has to pick up. How about the tight end there picking up the first down in that situation?
That's what he's there for, right?
Big fella, get it to him, let him fight off some people and pick up the necessary yardage.
From the 50, here's Fields. That's taken in, complete to Reynolds. So just 3 yards on the completion there, and that'll make it 2nd down. A shotgun snap, Fields. Throwing the out route, incomplete. That's Reynolds. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. These two have hooked up 9 times now this afternoon as they pick up the first. on the draw. It's Hall. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
What an advantage having an elite guy in the middle of the defensive line, because not only does he take up the space and let the linebackers run free, but he can also make plays himself, as we just saw there.
2nd down and 8. Here's Fields. Over the middle and complete to Wilson. That's good. The completion there for 7 yards. And that'll leave him with a 3rd and just a yard. And a completion to Wilson. And he gets the first down here as he's taken down at the 24. That one good for 7 as this long drive continues and the chains move again.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people up to block in front of him, either fellow receivers or offensive linemen? That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. The Jet passing game in rhythm. They've got another first.
I can't help but chuckle a little bit, because at this point, it can't be a surprise to anyone in the building who's going to get the ball. They just keep feeding him over and over, and he just keeps on delivering.
From the gun, here's Fields. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Second and 10. Fields throwing again. He's got Wilson, middle of the field. And he's going to take it in for a Jets touchdown. Garrett Wilson, an 11-yard touchdown. And the Jets have got it back to a 2-score game here in the 4th. Those are the touchdowns that aren't just scored on Sundays or on Monday night. Those are the ones that are scored during the week because they had that preparation and a great route run.
Oh, I love that observation, because you don't just roll out on game day and say, okay, go run this route and let's get it done. That means exactly what you said. The practice had to occur beforehand, which led to the timing, which led to the touchdown.
Zerline connects on the extra point, and the lead will be cut down to 14. That one was an extended drive, 14 plays all told. And Garrett Wilson capped things off with a touchdown grab. And the Bears hands team able to pounce on it and get the football. And that's why you have your hands team out there on the field. Those are the best guys ready to make that play.
And let's face it, it was executed well. It wasn't a bad kick. It wasn't anything like that. Just that the normal outcome actually came to play. Analytics would tell you it's a very low possibility of getting the ball for the team kicking it in an onside kick situation.
You're all about the numbers, aren't you?
All about the numbers, baby. It's a new game now.
They don't lie. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. If they can score here, they have a chance to make this a 3-possession game and all but put things to bed. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So 2nd and 9, and you'd have to figure just about all 11 probably crashing the line here. He's going to get it again. Just looking to get forward and protect the ball. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. And quickly, we're going to get another stop here with 1:54 left as they call the timeout defensively. 5 points of contact necessary at this stage as they'll run on first down. Now the Jets going to use the second of their 3 timeouts. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. Now a 2nd and 6. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. The Jets going to go ahead and use their final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Here's 3rd and 3. They'll run again, and they'll lose yardage here. Knocked back to the 19-yard line. 4th down now after a loss of 2. When this offense gathers to watch the tape, they're going to like a lot of what they saw. They put up big numbers, but they might fast forward through that last play.
Oh, there won't be any fast forwarding, partner. I've sat in those sessions before. You end up spending more time on the bad plays than you do on the good ones. It's just the nature of coaches. But I know sitting in that room, when you've had a big game, the night that they've had, you don't want to hear that. You just want to focus on the good stuff.
Santos' kick is up and through, and that will extend their lead even further. So with that, you figure this game's pretty much out of reach at this point.
Yeah, it's going to take a heck of a comeback to come from 3 scores down, but don't change that channel. Don't go away. Miracles can happen, and you want to be here in case it does.
You're a company man.
Aren't I, though?
After the made field goal, Santos back out there to kick it away. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23. The Jets offense and receiver Garrett Wilson ready to get going again. And he's had some kind of game. They made it a point to get him involved early, and it has paid giant rewards to this stage of the game. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. Well, this game, it has had no shortage of offense. They've been able to put up a decent amount of points on this side, Charles. They just have not been able to keep pace with the other offense they're going against here.
Yeah, that's a good way of pointing things out because now it's not a total loss because, as you said, they've scored some points, so there's some plays they can build on, moments where the game plan actually worked. But overall, though, they were just out-personnel. They were going up against a team that's playing at an elite level.
Reynolds with a catch out on the right side. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. His big game continues. 10 catches now and another first down. Now Fields.
And when you've thrown as many interceptions as he has in this one, you definitely start getting a little hesitant to throw the ball out wide because that's prime pick 6 territory. That time, he made sure the only guy who was going to catch it was sitting in the 3rd row.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Throwing again is Fields. That is caught. Josh Reynolds. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made here at the Bears' 45-yard line. A good pick up there of 20 yards. Well, he's had the interception woes in this one, Charles, and that time a little bold to throw it into double coverage, but he beat the double coverage.
Yeah, but I admire that he still will challenge defenders downfield, even though the ball's been in jeopardy a few times in this game. A nice ball there against multiple defenders, and they advance it downfield.
And as this defense walks off the field, they can do so with their heads held high. What a performance. Well, by the offense, too. I mean, really, Charles, just complete domination on both sides of the football here in this one.
Certainly was, and I think both sides compete against each other all the time. You go at each other in practice, obviously your training camps, your off-season. But on game day, you both want to show your best. And I think that's what we saw from both the offense and the defense, a complete team victory.
So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. The Bears get the win at home as we say so long from Soldier Field.